Alright, guys, we are here. We are ferretless for the day. I'll turn off the sound in the background. We are ferretless for the day. He has been called away for something. So we are going to go through and talk about the patch notes. Because we do have another patch that has just dropped. And it's actually quite a good one. I'm still waiting for my ship. There are still 30Ks in the game. They have not put in their 30K server recovery program yet. I heard there was an unexpected issue and therefore it had to be delayed, or that was supposed to come out today. But obviously they have delayed that because of an issue, so maybe tomorrow, maybe. But let's go through and let's talk about the patch notes and what we do have in the patch for the day. So obviously database reset, no. Long-term persistence is disabled. Pledge copy is enabled. $15 million starting UEC. I did notice that my gear was missing from my space station where I'm based. I did have to go through and reset my character. So, yeah, I don't know what happened to the money I spent on that stuff. I think it got refunded. I'm not quite sure. It's the test universe anyway, right? So who cares? So, known issues, ground vehicles and initial spawn point. With the latest update, your initial spawn chooses the location of all your ships. If you have ground vehicles throughout the pledge store, selecting an initial homeless supports ground vehicles. After a server crash, attempt to reconnect may result in infinite loading screen, being unable to interact with the menu. I've had that, it still happens. Pledge items lost on death is obviously still a thing. So obviously, please guys, do not use your subscriber flare or anything like that when the game goes into the PU, because you will lose it. And yeah, obviously, yeah, we don't want that. So what I am suggesting to everybody is obviously going through, and your subscriber stuff is obviously going to be where you allocate it. So my starting location was New Babbage, which obviously is fine. So all my stuff, all my subscriber flare stuff is over at New Babbage. I am suggesting you leave it over there. Don't move it to the new station. And then obviously I generally use M1 as my starting location, or as my preferred location. So all my stuff is safely tucked away over at New Babbage. And then obviously I could then just simply go through and leave it there and not have to worry about losing any of it. To be honest, it's probably the better option. Just do keep in mind that if you do use Port Tressler above New Babbage, for example, then you will still be able to access your inventory for your subscriber stuff. Also, to keep in mind that you will not lose them indefinitely. It's only until they go through and you reset your account. For the moment, they are working on something to fix that. It is looking at going to be an X patch, so probably the same time we get the Ares, Inferno, and Ion, and also probably the same time we get the Redeemer as well. So I'm guessing that's all coming out together. Apart from that, obviously, resetting account failed to clear user items. Ships cannot be despawned on the player dumped during quantum travel if they are holding down Shift W while QTing. Ships cannot be despawned or the player dumped during quantum. I don't know what they mean by that. Ships with QT in the wrong direction will attempt to jump to a certain close range targets. Objective markers and QT nav points are grayed out on player's HUD. I did know that there was a issue, obviously going through and trying to QT from M1 through to Crusader. I had to jump to like L5 and then to Crusader. So yeah, that might be what they're talking about with that. Ships left at outpost disappear if the player logs out and then logs back in or shortly after disembarking. Down players are dropped. Down players are dropped or bounties spin out of control when dragged over uneven surfaces and ramps. I noticed that when I was trying to res Fez the other day. When collecting minerals materials with extraction mode laser, the ship cargo randomly empties. There are small areas with no gravity in the airlock in the Grim Hex Medical Facility. Many of the wheelchairs, walkers, gurneys, and Auris in general have spawned in collision in geometry, resulting in constant loud banging and rattling. When equipment items from the loot box in 0G, equipping the torso and arms will cause large amounts of infantry camera shaking. Weapon projectile trajectory will not behave correctly when shooting from one's zone inside a ship or outside another. So that's obviously when crossing zones. Multiple heavy armor arms clip partially obscure some of the mobiglass. Destroying mission spawn reinforcement type ships does not always trigger the outgoing call to arms mission rewards. Missiles can hit players' ship when they have fired whilst the ship is moving forward. So obviously if you're firing your missiles, just be careful. AC announcer audio call out for match over. You have won, lost the match can be heard multiple times. Arena commander can spawn facing the wrong way at the start of the match or after dying. The Telescopic Sight, which is the S2x4, shoots upwards when ADS. I've noticed also aiming down sights on some of the other weapons. It also seems, or other sights, it also seems to play up too. Aiming down sights and shooting at people doesn't tend to work sometimes. Demon Fang Combat Knife asset is missing from the game, although I have found it in loot boxes. So yeah, weird. Gameplay, inverted settings changed. Using the inverted FPS pitch mode will no longer invert the interior intersection mode cross thing. Inventory polish pass, inventory load and unload performance pass. Disabled chat while inventory is open. Disabled actor status, injuries, and blood drug levels in Arena Commander and Submarine. Thought I heard someone outside. Ships and vehicles, the origin of 400i polish pass. They increase the capacitor pool on the 400i, swap the buttons for doors on the ramp and the interior so the ramp is on the bottom, adjusted the 400i landing height, ramp, and lifted animations to support larger vehicles from the lift. Now, major bug fixing. This is the thing that we all care about. So, medical beacons should now correctly complete mission payout when the player is brought back from incapacitation. Fixed an issue causing bombs to stream out when dropped from very high ground or above ground surfaces. The A2 should no longer be spawned unlocked and openable by non-party members. Fixed an issue where blocking bombs from being fully restocked. Players should no longer get a trespass warning causing friendly AIs to attack players when doing the UGF mission to defend them. Repeatedly equipping and placing a weapon or multi-tool in the inventory should no longer remove it from the player until a new weapon is equipped. I've noticed that actually with the previous patch. After doing an attachment via the UI attachment, the attachment should no longer remain in the UI until it's closed and reopened. Players should no longer be able to load into Grim Hex instead of prison after exiting the menu before their sentence ends. Fixing an issue causing turrets to disappear if a player fails to the UGF, flies away and then comes back. I noticed that. The underground bunker facilities, if you flew away and came back, the turrets were missing. Players should no longer disappear if they enter an overdose state while on board a vehicle. They fixed 10 client crashes, fixed 2 server crashes, fixed a back-end service timeout fix. Or back-end server timeout fix. As for the patch itself, it's generally pretty good. I'm literally playing it right now, like you can hear it in the background there. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's it's actually pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Obviously, look, at the end of the day, look, it's still not perfect. But that said, it is definitely more fun. I'm about to go and do the bunker mission, so hopefully that will work. Because that was obviously one thing that was stopping me from enjoying it. But yeah, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. personally, I'm having a bit of fun with this inventory. I can tell you now, it's unforgiving. Yeah, people are going to be walking around on eggshells. At the moment, there's a bit of a troll going on where people are just injecting people at Grimhacks with a whole bunch of meds and watching them stumble around, which is kind of funny. And that said, I don't want CIG to fix it. I think it should be in the game, because obviously if you kill the person, you then do get a crime stat, so, you know. But at the end of the day, does it annoy some people? Sure. But guess what? It's something that you can actually do in real life. You know, you can dose people up with medication. And it's obviously not advisable, but it's something that you can do in real life, and they are obviously trying to make this game as real as possible. So, yeah, I think it should stay the way it is, and I really don't have a problem with people going around and injecting people. I think there should be a crime stat for it. If you're trying to inject someone against their will, it's probably you should come up with assault. Could be an option. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Obviously, at the end of the day, this video has been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, me and my little Star Runner, we're going to go and raise Havoc. We're going to go and do some underground bunker missions. Apart from that, have a great night, enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you in 3.15. Have a great night, everybody.